Pardon me, excuse me. I'd like to go ahead and have our superintendent, Mr. Parker, get started.
All right. So, after the season that they've had and the excitement of the last couple of weeks, the group we have with us this evening needs no introduction. The Great Crossing High School basketball team has given their all, and we are so proud to welcome them here tonight. With a 36-2 season record, they were KHSAA Sweet 16 semifinalists and Region 11 champions for the first time in school history. They're also three-time district champs. This group's been a huge part of steady progress in the development of a solid basketball program at Great Crossing High School. Just as meaningful as a near-perfect record, this team has been recognized time and again for their strength of character and sportsmanship. They're led by Coach Steve Page and supported by a dedicated group of individuals that are there for them every step of the way. This team is in good company at Great Crossing High School, which includes the Region 11 Athletic Director of the Year, Austin Haywood. And let's not forget the parents. Because we know that the coaches and the team for sure appreciate their support and sacrifice as well. When I call your name, please come forward and receive a Scott County Schools Challenge coin as a token of our appreciation to commemorate your accomplishments. They say it takes a village, and Great Crossing basketball proves that that is true, because I got several people to honor tonight. So we will start off with managers. Kenneth Chisley.
Tight squeeze back here. I just knew this was going to be a while.
Max Contino. Braden Contino. Thomas Taylor. Caleb Sanneman. Hayden Fox.
Side.
All right. We got support staff next. Steve Maynard. I'll have one for you. All right. Tony McDonald. Jamie Lee. Joe Campbell. Stats, Jason Taylor. Dustin Parkey. Is trainer Morgan McDaniel here? Okay, I know where she probably is. She's probably at the ball field right now. Video coordinator and equipment manager Thomas Baldridge. All right. Next, we got our players. Mr. Burrell, come on up. Javante Cooper. Vince Dawson. Jeremiah Godfrey.
Happy birthday.
LJ Holman. Jordan Coombs. Christian Martin. Jamari Mason. Malachi Moreno. Braden Oram. Ryan Payne. Gage Richardson. And Jalen Warren. All right, assistant coach, Freddie McCoy. Assistant coach, Tamron Manning. Assistant coach, Vince Dawson. Head coach Steve Bay. Did Austin make it? Is Austin here somewhere? Oh, good. That's, yeah. Athletic director for the 11th region of the year. So congratulations, they made our school, our district, our community proud. Well done. We look forward to future success on and off the court. One more round of applause, please, for these gentlemen.
Oh, who wasn't? Thanks,
Thank
Coach.
you.
That was awesome.
We'll see y'all at Rupp next year.
Huh? There you go.
Maybe we should put a silhouette of her doing her high kick. Like the air
That would be cool.
Ooh.
Like-
Ooh. And the board attorney's here, and he didn't say it was a bad idea, so.
Hey,
Yeah.
it's because he wasn't listening.
Or he chose not to read.
Yeah, selective, yeah, whatever.
Okay, all right. Number 4, agenda approval.
Move to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Number 5, public comment. No public comment. Number 6, consent agenda items A through I.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Number 7, construction report. Good evening, Tony.
Okay.
Well, except for an occasional hard rain, it's been a good month of weather. Does it sound okay?
Oh,
So you can see a sunny day. There's the whole high school front there facing the bypass. It was a good day for a picture there. And as we roll through here, you can just see that was a picture in the right-hand corner where they were last month, and you can see the metal panels going on the front of the facility now. And the front will look much better when we get the big round columns there. More metal panels going on the side facing the bypass, so you can just really see the details kind of clearing themselves out. Concrete, glass, a lot of finishing touches happening on the outside, making the building look much more finished. A little bit of a terrazzo emblem starting there. So just a couple of pictures here along the east side facing, you're looking towards the gym on the right picture, and then down towards the ag shops in the left pictures. Lots of outside concrete completed. This is just backing away from the cafeteria, storm shelter area towards the baseball fields. Good view from that direction. That area has kind of been one of the last ones to really start finishing itself up, so you can see it's a little more completed now. Inside the office areas, again, you can see ceiling tile going in. The nave, as I like to call it, or the large lobby area there. Paint colors and finishes. They've got the floor protected because of the terrazzo down. This was a picture last month, and you can really start to see. I mean, you remember the renderings? I mean, it's really starting to look like those renderings. So a lot of progress in that area specifically this month. So really happy to see that. Terrazzo down on the floors. The classroom, the 3-story classroom wing is, well, starting to look like a 3-story classroom wing. So I would almost say they're ahead in that area. This is one of the commons areas. So you can see finished ceilings in here, finished paint, finished ceilings. acoustical panel, lockers. Here's a classroom, still some cleanup to do on the floor there. But other than that, just hang a TV, clean the floor, and they're ready to teach. Just a couple of pictures in the library area there. You can see some of the red colors in there on the walls. The auditorium, probably one of the spaces as predictable, the furthest behind, but still in good shape. The band room, getting ready to put a lot of the acoustical soffits up. The choir room, this was a request to do something very similar to what they have in the current chorus and music room at the current high school, and I'm referring to the coffered ceiling up above there. Cafeteria storm shelter area. They've got the floor covered up good. Last month, I think I showed some pictures of the terrazzo. They're doing a good job covering that up. This is in this, just if you step into the kitchen serving line area. Hadn't got the kitchen equipment there yet, but they should have it in plenty of time. That's stepping inside the serving area and looking back out towards the cafeteria. And we all know where this is. And they've got paint on the ductwork now, and you can really see the paint on the walls and the accent colors and the big, deep trusses that are painted. So really some vivid detail coming to life there. And the lights in help too. Just another shot there. It was worth two. Lockers, into the locker room. So some of the finished casework going on now. So painted drywall, light fixtures in, and we're just in March. I'm sure Darren's looking at it like, oh my gosh, it's March. But concession stand area outside in the main lobby, just outside of the gym. Another shot going back up towards the stickball fields, looking back at the cafeteria. And look at there, artificial turf in on the soccer field. So it's good to see that down. Really brings a lot of vivid, bright color to that area when you drive by there. Just another shot. And another view looking back towards the grandstands and the elevator. Close-up of the grandstands for the baseball and softball area. You can see they've got the brick on there now and progressing. This is standing out in the field, looking back. Field house. I've got some exterior work to do there, but as long as we've got some good spring weather coming, they should be able to finish that up. Upper right corner was a picture last month, and this is a picture this month. A little dusty in there with the gravel down, but still a good shot. You can see what's going on. Overhead doors are in place. This is the weight room. See, it's coming along. That's looking back out towards those double overhead doors. Another picture from last month and then this month out in the main practice field area. You can see the locker benches going in there. I believe that's in the multi-purpose room. Whoop. So any questions on the high school or athletic fields? Like I said, it looks like they're still committed to being done. Turning the classroom wing over early summer so that Scott County can do a lot of things, and then turning the school over in plenty of time before August so that you can occupy the building. So it looks in good shape. So any questions on the high school?
You said early summer to turn over for classroom?
Yeah, the three-story classroom wing, which is they've intentionally pushed a little further ahead. I believe Scott County is going to hang up some of the TVs, get some data wire run, some cable, cameras, things of that nature. Yes, accepting furniture deliveries and things of that nature. I don't know exactly what Dwayne would probably know. Potentially some of the specific furniture deliveries, but then the rest of the building would just be a little bit behind that. Okay, well, the only other item tonight, we finished up of course, we're waiting on the windows at Garth, the Georgetown Middle School concessions building. I showed you kind of the final pictures of that last time. So the new thing for Scott County is your next agenda item. Of course, bids were taken and open and read aloud yesterday. There were 3 bids, very competitive bids, so I was glad to see. I like it when there's at least 3 bids. and Calhoun was low at 4,004,000, which was good because the budget estimate was at 4.5 that we've been working with. So hopefully the board's happy with that. And it's intended for the construction to go through the summer and completed by August 1st, 2024. We had a conversation, Mike Eddab had a conversation with Calhoun. I had a conversation with Calhoun. I know Mr. Parker's had a conversation with Calhoun, and maybe Mr. Ellison, there may be others as well. But our biggest concern about Calhoun was not so much the quality, because the concession stand in the end was, it's a nice concession stand and they did a good job with it. But their timeline, as you remember, as we were flipping through these construction reports, it was like, well, when are they going to done? When are they going to get done? So we've both had a pretty stern, for lack of a better, at least my conversation was, conversation about, are they going to meet this? And they've committed different people. They've got new people in their office. They said they were a little bit of transition and had trouble with their subs on the Georgetown project, and pretty much committed. I felt much more comfortable. Sometimes you just got to reach out and talk to people, and I felt much more comfortable about their commitment. In fact, Dwayne did talk to him after the bid opening, come to think of it. And do you want to elaborate on that?
The couple of things. One, they did stress falling all over themselves, apologetic about the timeline, concession. They even want to have a meeting with Tony, myself, and Dwayne to talk through after action how they missed the mark and what were some issues at their Louisville office to walk through doing a better. Mr. Johnson have not met.
Mhm.
Felt very good.
Mhm.
Comfortable. And again, I would also not share. I don't have any the other bidder. So kind of a situation where known bidder, and we know in terms of quality there aren't concerns. But
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
from what I saw, there aren't concerns with quality. Stress.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'd like to jump in because I did bring that up with you, and time is of the essence. I mean, here we are. We've been talking about this project for some time, and we talked about several times during that project over there at GMS about the timeliness of it, of such a small project, and about the timeliness of it. So I'm going to trust you guys had all good conversations, and they're going to step up to the plate this time because they didn't do it at GMS, right? Because it took so long. So that's my biggest concern with this particular contractor. So as long as we're going to stay on top of that timeline, we don't have a lot of room to slip and slide on an August 1st
The one
timeline.
thing, the leverage I think that we have that some don't is the fact that we're oftentimes doing a lot all the time. So we get calls. I get calls all the time about people checking references on D.W. Wilburn because we're not with them. So it's been very helpful for them to know, because they called back after the fact to hear that when you talked to them, said you had nice things to say. So I made sure that they understood as well that at platforms and on the news, and whenever we can, when things are great, we make sure that we're slathering on the praise. When things aren't so great, we don't mind to as well. Dwayne, you got anything to add on that one?
And that's the construction report, unless there's any other questions on it.
I will say too,
Oh.
because we didn't even talk about this. I mean, what about that bid?
Yes, I was very happy with the bid, and certainly usually try to hit a little bit higher on the estimates anyway, so that we can
Right.
feel a little more comfortable. But what's happened over the past 5 years is even trying to be conservative on the estimates. They don't just hit them; they exceed them. So I felt pretty good about, well, again, having 3 bids. When you have 3 bids, people had to sharpen their pencil.
Right,
So it's
right.
not just them; it's they're working with different subs as well. So they're getting different subs bidding to them. So we were very happy with, it's basically right at $4 million. So that's $500,000, less. So that's good.
To digress,
Mhm.
and I guess I apologize here for that, but on that same note, with the comment about the timeliness of this one, it went through my head, and I should have said it when we were talking about the high school piece. Early summer transitioning for classroom space, I assume that we've got some fail-safe point there where we're gonna do an intense status check before we start moving classroom materials in that we're sure that we're gonna be done in time for school to start? In case maybe it doesn't look like it at that point and we shouldn't start moving, you know what I'm saying?
Well, it's a very good question, and I heard Mr. Ellison say,
I'm sorry? Right. No, I'm talking about the new Scott County High School. You know, Tony
No.
mentioned that early summer, we would
Right.
start moving
right.
ma- classroom materials over.
Well,
but
and it's a,
I assume we'll do an intense status check it before we start that to be sure we are very confident that we're gonna be ready to start school. So that
Well,
we
I
don't
like-
get ourselves into. a-
yeah, I like the,
I'm not concerned. We haven't had a reason to be concerned, but I just feel like I'm remiss if I don't make sure we're thinking about it.
no, I like the question, and I like the phrase you're using, and we have a progress meeting with the high school just first week in April, first Thursday in April, so
Okay.
that's just.
Very
Is
good.
that,
I
is
mean,
that next?
like I said, I'm
Well,
saying
but
something
I
that's
want to bring
probably
that
already
up
on
with
the
them
radar,
because
but-
the good thing is they do have, the HVAC's running, and the lights are running. Yes. There we go. So
the heat is
there's
running.
a lot of good, I'm sorry?
And the heat is running. I was there this weekend, and the
Well, there
heat
you
is
go.
running. Yeah,
So,
yeah.
so there's a lot of good things already in place. It would really just be to the point where we get the code officials to acknowledge that area, the 3-story area, can be occupied, safely, and they can give occupancy.
Serve them lunch and kind of
Right,
things we gotta do.
right.
Okay.
right.
Sack lunches till Thanksgiving.
Right. But I don't anticipate that.
Okay. right.
But certainly, the kind of this timeline that you're talking about, it's like we can't go back.
Right. Once we start
Um,
moving things over there, there's a.
I think
stair
it's
step.
a primary source of
Okay.
conversation at our
Okay.
next meeting.
Very good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Thanks,
it.
Tony.
Tony.
Okay, number 8, accept bid by Calhoun Construction Services to renovate the 1996 Scott County High School building.
Move to approve.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Number 9, student achievement. Hello,
Hello, good evening.
good evening.
So today we are I'm going to give you an update on our career and technical education programs and where we are with 2023-24. And we're going to kind of go into that in detail. But first, in your packet, you have the first thing I wanted you all to see is each school has a one-pager that describes their career pathways. So that should be the first thing that you see. So it can give you a little bit more information because what we look at is what we call programs. So, for example, when you say at Great Crossing High School, you have family and consumer science. Well, that's actually subdivided into 3 different programs. So you have your consumer and family sciences, you have your culinary, and you have your early childhood education. So I wanted you to see that just because I say agriculture, that means that it could be more than one way. It could be ag power, it could be horticulture, it could be animal science, but I wanted you just to kind of really see an in-depth look of what each of those pathways look like at each school. So whenever we go into the data and what block scheduling has done for our career and technical education programs, then you can really see the opportunities that our students are providing or are being provided. So just if you look at the first one, Great Crossing High School, and I gave you all the big ones because mine's real tiny and I probably need a magnifying glass, but that's okay. So the programs that we have agriculture, we have family and consumer science, we have our teaching and learning pathway, we have information technology and business services, we have welding, and we have industrial maintenance. I will say that one that was added last minute for Great Crossing High School last year was a health science pathway. And so they have also added that this school year. When you look at the next page, we have Scott County High School. Again, we have our
Stephanie, can I just
agriculture.
ask
Oh
if-
yeah,
what-
sure.
Should we assume the Great Crossing Health Science pathway is going to mirror what ECS is offering?
It's
or is
actually
it a different
it's
program?
different. It's a
Okay.
different program.
Okay.
They are actually working towards their it's a medical assistant credential. And so when talking to post-secondary education programs, the CNA is the industrial certification that we go for at ECS, so it's more nursing. And then at Great Crossing, we're going with that medical assistant. And so that way we're having another opportunity for health sciences because we know that that is such a fast growing
Absolutely.
industry in our state, is one of the top 5. And so broadening that opportunity for our kids. So now you don't have to necessarily go to ECS to be in a medical pathway.
Right.
We have
And
that option.
This, I assume, doesn't require specialized classrooms since they weren't.
No.
Sure.
And so we just had to have the specialized teacher.
Very
So
good. Okay.
we're really excited.
Good deal.
And we'll kind of get into a little bit of funding here in a minute. And I'll kind of talk a little bit about that.
Thank you.
But at Scott County High School, we have our agriculture, we have our FACS, we have the building construction. So right now we are offering plumbing as a pathway within there. We have another new one is IT this year, and that's Cody Logan. I know that you all got to see he and his students at the KSBA
Yes,
conference, and
that's right.
that's a new pathway for Scott County. No, this is new. It's on here for this year, but it's a new pathway. This is the first year that we've offered that at Scott County High School. So
Cody
really
Logan's not
excited.
new. He's been around,
Yes.
but he was more in the business entrepreneurship, and he's shifted over.
And he shifted over. Then, of course, we have manufacturing. Now, I will tell you at Scott County High School, this is a little bit unique because this is a manufacturing through BCTC. So those students actually go through BCTC to get a manufacturing. It is an actual industrial maintenance program that BCTC offers.
see.
But we do have some students in it, so we definitely want to give honor to that. Of course, we have our teaching and learning pathway there. And then in its second year, we have the law, public safety, and corrections pathway that I'm sure if you look on social media, they do a lot of really great stuff. There's been a increasing interest in that. And then at ECS, it stayed standard, no new pathways this year because whenever we talked about Section 7, it was for the 2 high schools to do block scheduling. But we have, of course, our biomed, we have health science, we have media arts, law and justice, and engineering. So that stayed the same. But I just wanted you all to have a scope of what all of these pathways, because you hear us talk about them. This is a one-pager that really shows you
Very nice.
what is happening at each school.
One question I have: Great Crossing's offering dual credit for teaching and learning pathway, but Scott County is not.
They're both dual credit.
They're both dual credit.
They're both dual credit.
They're both through EKU.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes,
Yeah.
both are
Very good.
EKU.
Okay.
They just worded it different whenever they
Sure.
put it in
No,
there.
no worries.
Yes. All right, so I wanted to
Oh,
show
I
you.
see it now. Sorry.
Yeah, that's okay. That's
yeah,
okay.
it is up there in little. Okay.
So when you look at our total district enrollment, if you look at the next, I'm not clicking. Sorry, guys. Sorry, audience. All right, there you go. All right. So total district enrollment in our CTE pathway. So if you see the top line for each school is the 2022-23. And then the navy line for each school, I tried to color coordinate them as you can see, is for 23-24. So you can see that ECS from last year to this year, their enrollment stayed about the same within their career and technical ed pathways, which is what we expect. But then you can see at Great Crossing High School, last year they had 796 enrollments, and this year they have 1,593 enrollments in courses.
And to what do you attribute that?
That is, I've got to give you all a lot of credit due to the Section 7 positions that you all provided to both schools. They were able to expand their CTE offerings, and going from 6 courses to 8 courses gives students more opportunity to be a part of these classes. So,
Just wanted her to be able to say.
yeah.
That's right.
Yes.
And that's part of it too. That's
Yeah.
the secret sauce.
Yeah.
The
Right.
community was like, what are
More
we doing?
credits
We need to
available,
be
yeah.
Yep.
we need to be providing more in terms of workforce needs and development, and they weren't understanding that until we had the framework in place
hmm
to allow students to have that flexibility.
Yeah.
It didn't matter.
Yeah.
And so putting that framework in place, and again, we did earmarked some of those positions at both schools to increase some offerings.
Mhm.
So this is good stuff.
This
Good
is,
stuff.
yeah,
It is really
I've been excited to share this with you all, you know, all month. So not necessarily. You may have students who are passionate about the arts, and now they are able to take, choir and band, or take art and choir. It's just, whenever I say, notice I say enrollments. So whenever I say at Great Crossing High School, there are 1,593 enrollments. That could be one student in more than one pathway. So that could be a student who is in both information technology and a school favorite, culinary. And so they can do two
Yes.
now.
Yeah.
And as we see the more opportunities as they go, as we get into like the juniors next year being seniors, they'll, with block scheduling, students can have the opportunity to be in a CTE pathway. They can take AP and dual credit. They can take band, because when you only have a 6-period day by semesters, 4 of those are content classes. And so now, because of this work that we've put in, that you all have been a huge part of over the last 2 years, this is some of the great outcomes.
Yeah,
So-
it's a game changer.
Yeah.
I have a question about
Mhm.
block scheduling. And obviously lots of positives.
Mm-hmm.
Have there anything negatively that has come from it
I'm going to jump in and say,
Sure.
we've had CKEC has been partnering with us and doing a lot of school visits on top of, I know Stephanie and her team doing OSL school visits. And I think it is fair to say that it has been an adjustment, and that there are
Mhm.
times that we'll see in classrooms where they need a little bit of guidance on better utilization of the time.
time?
But I don't feel like, it's been
Yeah.
a tremendous
Yep.
issue from what we've
No, and
seen.
of course with teachers going from teaching, 54 minutes to teaching 90, that's an adjustment. But, interesting, we're building our cohort and PD Palooza for next year, and we just finished getting feedback from the schools. And it was really exciting because, like, Scott County High School, for example, Elizabeth was sharing with me, and they're wanting, like, the math department said, we want a cohort with more engagement, more hands-on activity, so that they can manage that 90-minute time, because a student doesn't want to sit there for 90 minutes and just practice problems. And so the teachers are asking for that, and so that's what we're working on now to feed that. But yeah, it's
What about Fridays?
so Friday's interesting enough. Scott County High School. Well, I always ask the kids. So when we were at KSBA, I asked the students, and they said they don't mind. Like, for Scott County High School, they see every class on Friday, and they don't mind it. They say it's a little bit rushed, but that's to be expected. And like Scott County, or at Great Crossing, I was asking one of their students, and they said, well, actually, this was when we were covering Friday for the ball game, and one of the students came to us, and he was telling Joy Lusby that he was the king of Navy Day. And he said because he likes all his classes on Navy Day. So I think, just those natural things. But then another student was like, I really think this is going to help me prepare for college, because it's much more like a college
Yes, it
type
is.
schedule.
Right.
And so, I think from the kids, they adjust, and and our teachers are adjusting. So, yeah, and
Thank you.
we've made some little modifications on Friday for Great Crossing, and they've got a good solid plan. And
Good.
so for next year, we'll see how that goes.
Okay,
So
thank you.
you're welcome. So I broke down enrollment by pathway just so that you could see, and by school. Remember to click. All right, so here are the enrollments for Great Crossing High School. Green was last year, and navy was this year, and you can see that they have just expanded greatly. I mean, it's exciting, and you can see, facts went from 331 to 721. Agriculture's gone from 178 to 446. Information technology, 202 to 236. Welding, 85 to 113. And interesting, while we were at KSBA, Mr. Parker and I had asked Wiley, because he was there with his students. They were doing a phenomenal job. And he had said that he's lost some students going to that industrial, but he said that's a good thing. He said before they were taking my classes, because that was really the only option within some type of industrial type work. And so, but I mean, he's still gaining. I mean, he still went up to 113 students.
Now, I do want to go ahead before it comes up as a question so that I can just hit it head on. I'm not thrilled with where we are on the teaching and learning
Mhm.
pathway. And so the schools have been put on notice that I have a plan if this next year is not any better.
Yep.
That I'll just say I'll have a plan. I'll leave it at that.
Mhm.
And
Yep.
we'll just- there we go.
We'll
That's
go
all
from
we
there.
need to know.
Yep.
Good.
Won't
But
go away.
I
It will
just
get
want to
better.
say, as an educator, that's a big red
It's
flag
telling.
because why are children not wanting to be in education?
You're right. You're right.
I'm living it every day,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
and I'm working hard, and I'm not getting paid. Oh,
But you will see that the last three, the health science, the industrial, and the teaching and learning, are new programs. We knew that drumming up interest would be year one, and I have to give credit to Great Crossings counselors because that we had talked about that. You're going to have the kids and they're not gonna know, so they're not really sure, and so they've done a really good job of doing kind of like a modified, so that teacher doesn't spend all 6 periods of their teaching just 41 kids. They have study skills built in and stuff like that to meet the needs of the kids as they build their program. So,
Again, one thing that you won't see on here, something that you all approved here recently, which was that district-wide manufacturing. And I don't want to say too much, but we all know that here in the next little bit, we'll be able to talk a little bit more about
yes,
that.
we will. Yes, we will. So here is Scott County High School. Again, you can see that the students' enrollment in our career and technical ed pathways are expanding there as well. The information technology and teaching and learning are the new pathways. I will say, as Mr. Parker talked about, Cody Logan is not new to Scott County High School, and you can see that starting a new program was not difficult for him because 164 students have enrolled in
Yep.
his courses.
And he'd be
so.
one that speaks. I mean, he just has great student relationships.
Yep.
He's the sponsor for the B team at the school. I mean,
Makes a big difference.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Yep.
He's able to
Yep.
draw
Yeah.
a crowd.
And criminal justice has gone from 30 to 77. They offered one section of it last year.
And I'm gonna be honest on that one.
Yeah.
I was skeptical.
Yep.
I was really skeptical of that one, but credit to Miss Gabehart, and I believe it's Mr. Drury, and that they said they could make this a success.
Yeah.
That's
and-
certainly an area where there's a need.
Yep.
You're exactly right.
Yep. Yep.
You're exactly right.
Yeah.
And then we can see, as Wendy pointed out, where we want that teaching and learning to grow. That is for certain. Yeah. And then here's ECS. Again, it stayed pretty steady, which is what we expected for their numbers. So I'm not going to go into a whole lot of detail. We didn't change anything there.
But there's I will say though, there's nothing about that should be looked at in a negative light.
Oh no,
think
that's
it's
what
fair to
was
say.
They don't have
expected.
empty rooms.
No,
I mean,
it's-
there's only
No.
so much space, and they're
Right. I
That's
just
just what
didn't
they
want
have.
anybody to feel like,
Well-established.
well,
Yeah,
you're
it's-
seeing all these
No.
growth.
Yep.
They're
No,
limited
that
to
is
what they've
established.
got.
This is
Yeah, that's-
exactly.
they are what they are.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, this is
Without-
exactly what I expected the
Yeah.
data to look like
Yeah.
whenever we pulled
They,
it.
those have been the same numbers pretty much
Yeah.
since
Yep.
it opened.
That's
Since we
right.
got that
That's right.
last,
Yep.
since we opened Law and Justice, that's
Yep.
just all there is.
Yep. And then, so here are completers versus preparatory. And so something I wanted to point out, so this is over the last 5 years. So something I want to point out to you is, so you can see in 18 and 19, they were lower numbers, and that is around and I want you to see that there is a jump in 2021, and that is attributed to the opening of Great Crossing High School. And I know that when Joy was working with opening that school, like welding and expanding on those programs, has just blossomed our. And I want to, on that first slide, so I want you to see on 22-23, we have 1,029 preparatory. And so when you look at our current enrollment for this year total, I think it's going to show just how big that number is going to be next year, because right now we have 3,812 students that are in a preparatory status.
Wow.
So,
So just so I understand, how are you defining a completer? Someone who's
so a
taken all the
completer has taken
courses?
all 4 courses.
Are they?
Well,
and I don't even know-
so for a senior, this is all past year's data. So
Sure.
for the 22-23 school year, that means that they were enrolled in a career and technical ed pathway. They completed 4 courses and graduated. That is what
Okay.
you would define. Preparatory is any student who has taken a CT course. So, for example, a freshman who is in, let's say, health science, and they are taking principles of health science, but then they also might be taking principles of ag. They would be considered preparatory in two different pathways.
Right.
Right.
Now,
But to,
The classes that are on the four classes.
yeah, so that is, and I could get into detail, but I mean, I can send you those very detailed reports. It'll break it apart by course. I can break it apart by pathway. I can break it apart by school. That is just to not bog down all the data. This is just the picture of what Scott County Schools was in 2018, 19, 19, 20, 2021.
No, but I said the
Oh,
four
yes.
that
Mhm,
is-
yep.
that's on this
Yes,
slide.
sorry.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
wasn't following. I apologize.
That's-
Yeah.
Real quick too on that topic. So over the years, there's been some transitioning into what these different levels mean for you in terms of funding. So I don't know that it's final legislation. So I'm scared to even say too much about it.
Yeah.
But I do know that they are moving towards a tiered structure in which maybe 60% of your funding is provided by just having students in the courses, not necessarily completers, but then there's another 40% where maybe they look at the completer status. So I just wanted to at least just share that, I've had conversations with multiple superintendents over the past week or so, trying to see, and nobody really has a solid understanding of how it's going to shake out. So I'm reluctant to speak with conviction about it because I don't know it either. But I just wanted to share that there is some shift to how that funding looks when it comes to our students and
Mhm.
what, are they just taking a class or two, or do they complete the entire path?
And I'm kind of going to get with that. So when you think about impact, so for students, due to block scheduling, we have more students are able to enroll in Great Crossing High School and Scott County High School CT courses. That has, and that data shares that beautifully. Moving forward, it's going to increase the number of students who will be completers in CTE pathways, earning industrial certifications. So that's going to have a positive impact on our post-secondary readiness. It's going to be a huge safety net for students who possibly can't earn a benchmark on ACT or get a C or above in a dual credit. It's going to be a great safety net for those students who maybe just are, ready to go out into the workforce. So that will be a huge way for us to get them what we could consider career ready or post-secondary ready. I will say that one of the things I know Mr. Knoll, as the CT coordinator, and Ms. Reed have been talking about is making sure that our counselors are well educated as they, like Great Crossing currently, they do a one-on-one, like they pull students. It's amazing. They pull students one-on-one and let them be a part of their scheduling. Scott County High School is transitioning to that this year too. So it's going to be a key factor in knowing what those pathways are and having the conversations with students, gearing them towards being completers. So
that's a paradigm shift in thinking for
yeah,
sure.
it
But it's
is.
important.
It
So
is.
There have been counties that have been doing that for a long time. I
Right.
can remember going and visiting with them 15 years ago.
Yep.
It's a game changer when you can get into that mindset that everybody's going to complete something
Yep.
and just everybody's going to complete something.
That's
We're-
right.
You know,
Yep.
and with our block scheduling, it gives them the opportunity to complete something.
No more
But also,
excuses.
right,
Yeah.
but also fish around too if
Yep.
they want to explore others.
Yep.
If we get the,
Yeah.
we should be able to
If
get
they
the
can
best of
really,
both worlds.
like you said, fish around like your
Yeah.
freshman year,
Mhm.
maybe into your sophomore, and kind of finalize, this is where I want to be, there is absolutely no reason with block scheduling that they can't be
Yeah,
completers.
as long as they understand it.
Mm-hmm.
Because in the past, they might have fished around and found out what they didn't want to
For
do,
4
which
years.
is still valuable.
Sure.
But
But they
now they
didn't
can figure that out and
have
still
something in their
Yeah,
hand.
yeah.
Right.
And then obviously from a professional standpoint, is it still
Mm-hmm.
tied to any of our state assessment?
So being a completer,
Because we used to get credit for COSA,
Yes.
and if they completed, that counted
yes.
toward.
So now
career
instead
readiness?
of COSA, we have what it's been replaced with a new acronym, EOP, end of program assessment.
Another
And-
5 years
yeah,
earned in their
and
job. Yeah.
In order to take an EOP, you have had to have completed at least 2 of the 4 courses. But let's say that if I'm in allied health and I've only taken 1 course and I want to take the industrial certification that is NOCTI, well, there's no course requirement as long as you've taken at least 1. So they've kind of muddied that down a little bit.
Okay.
in regards, but you know, I think that it's best if for our kids that we get them to that completion
Sure.
status, because
Sure.
then they've really because we like what it looks like as a freshman and then what those pathways look like as a senior, and you can see in those documents, it becomes much more intensified and you really learn deeply about
Okay.
a pathway
So
and
the
what it
state's
means.
not tying any of those completing certifications or anything to career readiness?
So if you to take the EOP, or formerly known as COSA, to get career ready,
Mhm.
you still have to have at least 2 credits in that pathway
You take
to
2
take the
credits in
test.
two credits, take the test, you're considered a completer
mhm.
by the state standard.
Yes,
And that applies toward our that student is now career ready in the state.
it's considered career ready. It wouldn't be considered completer though.
Okay, so yes,
Yeah.
that's what I'm
Yeah.
trying to understand.
important.
Which one of those is the state looking at, is what I'm trying to determine.
They
and-
look so pending
I
legislation,
get it.
then it will be
I'm gonna ask you in a
we
couple
will
years and it'll be different.
yeah,
Okay,
yeah, you're exactly right. So pending legislation, then there is going to be
They got
something
school midnight
tied
tonight.
with dollar signs to getting more kids completers, right?
Okay.
Right now, accountability wise, it's kind of muddied down. So you can become career ready without being a completer
By taking the industry assessment.
by taking an industry
So,
certification.
Two pathways for the student to become career ready in terms
Yes.
of our state accountability.
Yes,
Okay,
correct.
that's
yes.
what I was trying
yeah.
to find out,
yeah.
is what it is that the state's expecting us to do.
Yes, yes.
So when they
Um,
are, they complete the 4, do they have another, when they graduate, do they get something else on their certificate?
So depending, if we have been working to align all of our career and technical ed programs pathways to an industrial certification. So I'll use culinary for example. One of the components to become career ready in culinary is to take the ServSafe exam, which then you are certified to teach in any or to work in any industrial kitchen. So if I went to go work in the cafeteria at Toyota, they're going to require me to get my ServSafe credential. If I were going to work for Scott County Schools and work in my in one of our cafeterias, I would have to have that ServSafe. So they're going to come in with a leg up, already certified. If they pass it, if they don't pass it, the backup would be for them to take that EOP or COSA. So our first goal is to get them industrial certified because that follows them
Mhm.
after
Everywhere
high
they go.
school.
Yep.
Yep.
Yes, that's something that they can use.
That's right.
Passing the EOP, I mean that's neither here nor there. It's just a test by the state of
Demonstrates
Kentucky.
competency, but
Yes, yes.
Is
So
there
our
a
number one
difference-
goal
is
is
the difference between the on-demand writing and an ACT.
yes, it's so different. Yeah. Whereas like in welding, we want them to get their level 1 welding certificate, so that then if they want to go on to welding school or if they want to do whatever, at least they have that base. So yeah. And then there's one other piece that's really important this year. So we get a mid-year LAVEC adjustment, and we received Gina was like everybody's favorite not very long ago because we got an increase in $600,000, and it was based on the growth that we had.
So let me walk through, and honestly, this is the piece that led us towards, this is what we wanted to share with you all for student achievement. Because, you know, we got the LAVEC funding that we've gotten, and then this mid-year adjustment, the reason for the adjustment is the increases in what we're seeing in our schools. So we're finally getting to get the benefit and the credit for those things. Now, here's something to completely understand. When it came to this additional funding, you know, the pot is the pot. It wasn't like they added money to the pot. So for us to get additional funding, when we added kids to the pot, that made every kid's share go down a little bit, right? But we added so much to the pot, especially compared to other districts, that, I mean, that just shows that what we have been doing, again, it just accentuates the fact that what we have been doing, committed to looking at trying to make sure that we've got students ready for the workforce, it's working.
Mhm.
So I would just, you know, when this came out, I had a CKC superintendent Zoom meeting, and they shared it during the Zoom meeting, and everybody's looking for their district. And there were only, out of the 171 districts, there were only a handful of districts that saw increases substantial, and we were one of them. There were other districts our size, similar, that did not see increases in some cases at all. So this was a big deal, and it spoke to the fact that, things we didn't get credit for when we started, because again, they don't give you credit for brand new. They give you credit for a program that you've had working. We're getting credit for that. And so again, I know they're making shifts to how they break the funding down. And I know that we're not the only district that is trying to demonstrate a commitment to this. So there's going to continue to be more kids that go in the pot, and there's not more money in the pot. But if we keep on with our numbers, we'll continue to garner significant portions of the funding that is available. So it's just, again, all of this information kind of together just shows that, we started on this path for a reason, and these are the benefits of what we're doing.
Yep. And there is currently written in the budget money for locally operated career and technical ed centers like Scott County. And so pending that it doesn't get cut, then, we will hopefully be seeing some more funding.
Because of ECS? Is that what you mean?
No,
Because we
no,
have
no.
an ATC?
No,
I
no,
understand.
no.
I'm
Was the
sorry.
number of
So,
programs.
last year, or the last legislative budget, which I guess was 2021 or 2022, they gave money for local area technology centers. So we do not have an ATC.
Sure. I mean, yeah. that's not
So
technical
they
one, but-
gave money specifically for districts that have that. And so all of the additional, like the amazing printer that Great Crossings IT, all of right now, like our teachers are all that equipment that you saw with welding and with IT at KSBA was all purchased with this additional LAVIC to try to get our labs up to 21st century. Because in the past, all the money was allocated to area technology centers, which we don't have. So that budget, they said, here's going to be some money for the next 2 years.
Gotcha.
Currently, there's money written in again
Yes.
for the next 2 years, pending that it doesn't get cut. So a little prayer to continue to grow our career and technical ed.
And,
So
and
go
again,
ahead.
that was part of the reason too that I was so adamant about getting our legislators in our schools so that they could see, like, look, we're using the money that you all provided us. This is important. This is a big deal. Please continue to do so. Because honestly, the LAVEC funding, we all knew it was kind of coming, but nobody knew. When you hear seismic numbers for the state, you don't know how that comes out, how that factors out for your one of 171 school districts. So then when we got it, it was like, oh, we're going to be able to do some things here. So it was a big deal. And again, we wanted to make sure our legislators understood that we truly appreciated it, and it was very, very helpful to all of our programs. And so we'll be able to, with this next budget, continue down that path.
But to
Yep.
Susan's comment, it's because we have the programs, not because we have the building. It's because we
we
offer
have the
program.
programs. It's
Right.
about the programs.
Right, which is what we had thought about when we were trying to decide what buildings over the past 8 years, what are we building, what are we not, instead of focusing on.
A welding student is a
particular-
welding student, no
Right.
matter if you're
No
an
matter where they are.
ECS, an
Right.
ATC,
Exactly.
or
And that's the joy
Great
of having
Crossing High
two
School. That's
schools so
kind of
close together as
an
well as
example.
ECS
Yeah.
because they're in proximity of each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I mean, I'd like to see us get to a point where it is an expectation or the norm for every
Sure.
student to complete. Because
Absolutely.
Yeah,
the,
that's what I
the
was-
capability is there, and it's one of those rare moments where our professional responsibility merges with what's best for students, and
Mhm.
it's a win on both.
Absolutely.
And with the programs and facilities we've set up, it's
Mhm.
a no-brainer. It's very low-hanging fruit
Yeah.
on both ends.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
with good counseling as students build their
That's
master
gonna be the
schedules,
key.
it will be easy
Mhm.
to make a requirement with block scheduling for our students to be completers. So,
Selling point, graduate and be able to start working,
mm-hmm,
graduate, and you don't have to.
yeah,
Exactly. Be ahead
Mhm.
of your fellow students, even
yep.
if you're going
And with block
college. Yeah.
scheduling, it's easy to finish a pathway within 3 years
Sure, and still
So-
explore. So,
and
yeah,
still
like it.
explore stuff your senior year.
Yeah,
So,
like
yeah.
it, like it.
Yep.
They started in middle school, the counselors.
So interesting that some of the work that we're embarking on, partly due to driving
We've
possibilities.
got big ideas.
So
We've got big ideas.
stay tuned.
Huh?
Yeah.
Listen.
The goal is that we will have career choices at all 3 middle schools. So, yeah, we've got some big things in the works.
If we
Yeah.
go back 20 years, I mean, like, I would have left school.
I know.
I loved it anyway, but
Yeah.
Yeah, I like
No,
it,
just
but not
all
because
the
of the
different
classes.
things.
I just like it
Yeah.
because I got to see the friends.
they
So,
had
yeah.
so much, and then they
Well, thank you all. And I
Right.
do have to say, a lot of this has been because you all have been committed to the work over the last 2 years.
100%.
So,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
Stephanie,
Absolutely.
thank
Hey,
you.
while we
you.
got you, you want to say anything about the graduation requirements, or?
Oh,
is
yeah,
there
I can.
any- Or did you all have any questions?
Yeah, do
on
you all
that?
have any questions about the
While she's
increase
here,
in
in
the
case-
grad requirements? Yeah.
Okay.
No, it makes,
Yeah.
it makes.
No, we
Yeah.
got a great
Okay.
presentation.
Okay, great.
Yeah, with
Awesome.
our notes.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Thanks. Number 10, approve 2024 graduation dates and times for Phoenix Horizon, Community, Scott County High School, and Great Crossing High School.
So moved.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed?
And I need to go ahead and announce, it makes me very sad that I will miss graduation this year at all 3 schools, but it's for a very good reason, because my little girl's graduating law school in DC, so I gotta go.
Congratulations.
sure.
That's awesome.
Motion
That's
passes.
great.
That's great. Congratulations,
Oh, yes.
Susan.
And Renee
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
literally walking out the door to go push send on that announcement to the district and the community to let them know
Yep, everybody's
it has
awaiting.
been
Yes.
approved.
Yes, wonderful. Number 11, first reading of policy 08.113, revised graduation requirements. Again, first reading. Number 12, annual approval of the Certified Evaluation Plan, CEP, for the 2024-2025 school year.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Number 13, approve Scott County Schools Technology Plan for years 2024 through 2026.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Number 14, approve 2024 temporary summer work positions for maintenance and technology.
Move.
All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries.
Hope you can find them, Dwayne.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask you,
Number 15, approve to create positions 15A through 15Q as submitted. All in favor?
aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Number 16, approve emergency certification for the following 16A through 16C.
So move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Let me move this around just a moment. There we go. Number 17, approve 2024 capital funds request.
Move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Number 18, accept and award mowing bid for Creekside Elementary.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Renewal of bid for Fidelity Bond on the Board Treasurer and Director of Accounting. All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Number 20, renewal award bid for School Treasurer Bookkeeper Bonds for fiscal year 2024-2025. All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Number 21, renewal of bids for general maintenance bid for fiscal year 2024-2025.
So move.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Number 22, award weight room equipment bid for fiscal year 2024-2025. All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Number 23, renew diesel and gasoline bid for fiscal year 2024-2025.
Move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Number 24, renew bid for pest control service for fiscal year 2024-2025.
Move. So
Second.
move.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Number 25, approve surplus items as submitted.
Move.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Number 26, financial statement.
The February financial statement, our beginning balance is $94.9 million, receipts of $8.3 million, expenditures of $18.9
Ooh. Thank you.
I actually have a question. I can't believe it's been 7+ years and I'm just now asking it. Is there a legal requirement for you to give this to us in a hard copy every month?
Well, not legally, but
I mean, I know we have to have the report. It just feels like a lot of paper every month. And I mean,
I like looking at it.
I glance at the cup,
I do
just
it.
some of the, but
Look at
But if I could look at it digitally too, I don't know, maybe I'm being too green here, but. No, I'm not trying to push it one way or the other. I was
I'd
just
like a paper
curious.
copy if
Okay,
we
that's
switch
fine,
it.
That's fine. No worries, no worries.
I want
I
paper.
just feel like it
I
seems
look
like
at the
a
bills.
lot of paper when I can look at it, digitally.
Yeah.
But if everybody's good with paper.
We know
why
you
not?
do,
If
Gina.
everybody's good with paper, that's fine. It
The
just, it
best.
occurred to me and I thought it was worth asking. No worries.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Number 27, excuse me, approve current bills.
Move.
All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. Number 28, superintendent's report.
So we've been looking at with all the moves as far as physical locations. It's given us an opportunity to think about, Phoenix Horizon Community and maybe what some of those offerings look like. So I would anticipate here in the next month or two, I'll be reaching out to you all to talk to you about some potential tweaks to what we're doing over there that we think might better address some of the needs of our district. And kudos to Stephanie for she's been leading up the work on that for sure. And it's been, again, it's not quite to a point to share with you all, but it's pretty close. So we'll have that for you here in the coming couple months. Instructional leadership. So again, CKEC's CARS visits and debriefing meetings that we've had with our schools. It's been really great stuff. A lot of it has really been right in line with what we've been seeing from our Office of Student Learning and their learning walks as well. We had deeper learning just, was that yesterday? Was it? Okay, a couple days ago. So really working through Leader and Me and getting our schools ready to roll with that when they start delivering that whole hog to their entire staffs. And then we went to a symposium last week in Bowling Green for Leader and Me and got to go visit some schools. Our folks were at a variety of different schools, so we all got to see some different things and bring back some I don't know, just different little tips and tricks that we found from that. Yes. I got to, and Stephanie got to spend some time too with me. We got to spend time with the Covey boys, Stephen Covey's sons, who are carrying on with that work. And so that was really interesting to really talk through just some specific questions that we and other superintendents had about how to engage in that work and make it more meaningful for our districts. Standard 3, Scott County High School, they had their Black History program, and that program has grown every year. This year to the point that they had to get out of the auditorium and they held it in the gymnasium. Dr. Akokpo from K-State was there as the program speaker. And again, he's always been a great friend to Scott County Schools and appreciated his willingness to participate there. Allocation meetings, we've got our final allocation meeting for our schools tomorrow, so we should get that pretty wrapped up. And then, navigating that Boys Sweet 16 and making sure all the kids had a chance to go, but we had coverage where we needed coverage I appreciate everybody I appreciate our principals. I especially appreciate Joy Lusby and Great Crossing staff because I know it wasn't an ideal situation, but they worked to make it work. And I appreciate our staff at Central Office for stepping up and going over and helping out on that Friday so that our students could have a memorable day for sure. And then of course, what a collaborative, wonderful time with you ladies at the KSBA conference.
So kind, Billy. You're so
And
kind.
Josh was there too, right?
Oh, yeah.
I forgot.
Yeah,
We had
yeah.
an opportunity.
We did see
We had
Josh.
an opportunity.
And Stephanie.
We had an opportunity.
He
My
was saying-
annual opportunity to make Josh uncomfortable.
Except we didn't get to get an Uber. It didn't
We
work.
didn't get an
We
Uber,
didn't
but
get an Uber.
it still it was great.
We learned
Yep.
after 8 years.
Yep. And then I'm very excited that we're coming to a close of this this session because it has been a bear and a lot of things under Standard 7 tied to that, and that is my report.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Well,
Number 29 is board comments.
Ms. Chairman,
Yes.
I would like to say, last Wednesday, we got to see exactly what Scott County is about. We honored Mr. Billy Parker, superintendent. I mean, it was just unbelievable. I know I don't know if he was really, really surprised or just kind of surprised. But Billy, you made us so proud. And then you get red ink on the front of the newspaper.
Yeah, I know. I didn't even know
I mean,
they did
that's
that.
awesome.
Yeah,
So anyway.
Do you want to mention what that award was?
Yes, it was Superintendent of the Year for Central Kentucky, EC.
Education Cooperative.
Yeah, yes. So very proud of you.
Thank you.
And then that night, we played basketball. So, I mean, it's just,
It was a good day.
this is the place to be. And I cannot thank you enough and all the hard work that you all do.
I think you should receive a challenge coin for that.
Oh.
Oh, yay.
Shake my own hand. Oh, shoot.
Well, thank
Good
you,
stuff.
Eleanor.
Good stuff.
Susan?
I've got nothing. I'm good.
Okay. Wendy?
That's it.
Becky?
Well, speaking of Leader in Me, I've had some opportunities in some of our schools recently, and it was very interesting to see. I'm working with Northern Elementary on an evening program called Primetime Family Reading Time, and when I went over there for a meeting in the lobby where people come in, the reception room, on the coffee table was a 7 Habits of Happy Kids for people to take a look at. And then I also helped with the book fair at Ann Mason Elementary. And Sarah Mall, the fabulous librarian there, said, now we're having a different book fair. We're not having as many of the little gimmicky toys and things like that. We're having more books. So I tell our students, let's put first things first, find a book for you, and then you can go over and get the gimmicky. So even though I know we're not into it full-fledged, the schools are incorporated.
Great.
That's great.
Number 30, move to closed session pursuant to KRS 61.810
Move.
1F to discuss student disciplinary matters. All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries.
Is somebody secretary in this, or do we need it?
Sure.
Like, I don't know.
I got it.
No, it's
Todd
all
used
good.
to always want motions and seconds and all.
It's 9:10.
Okay, let me get
9:10,
Who
Yeah, I
was
got
that?
9:10.
Susan, Wendy.
All right.
Okay. The board found sufficient evidence to expel the student for a period beginning on 2/26/24 and ending on February 26, 2025, from the classroom setting, but to continue to provide educational services as determined by the superintendent.
Okay.
Does it require an actual motion or just a
You need a
statement?
motion.
I need a motion.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries.
Okay. We have a second one for each item.
I need to know when.
So,
I move to go into closed session pursuant to KRS 61.810 IF to discuss student disciplinary matters.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries.
Becky?
We need a new secretary, please. Do I have a motion?
Third,
Unanimous? Consent?
you can turn it off, Ken.
That's
Or do we need to get
That's
Kansas?
closed session.
there's a red button, things are moving.
All right,
All right.
thank you.
Come on.
Move to return to open session.
Seconds.
All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries.
I move to table the student discipline issue until our next meeting.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries.
Who was the first motion? Susan and then Becky?
Yes.
Thank you, sorry.
Okay.
Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries. All
So
done.
can we get a date for the special meeting or
Let me
we
turn on the
waiting
camera.
with the bond? That's what he said.
That'll get set however you all go about your setting on it.
Are we doing that